and Buster.
And this week in Tokusatsu, we're going to be discussing the Donbrothers press conference, Hasbro trying to fix a mistake, and the Hideaki Anno cinematic universe.
Now
But
in
before all
short
that, Buster, how the heck are you?
I've been having a lazy day, but a good lazy day because I've been reading a lot of manga and getting back into it, and it's been a fun ride. Even been reading a kaiju manga.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's probably my favorite one I've read so far. Yeah, it's kind of like Ultraman, but if Ultraman was kind of a kaiju Kamen Rider. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I just got back from a whirlwind trip to meet up with friend of the show, Database Ranger, and that made for an absolutely lovely weekend. And then I got back and just been doing a bunch of housekeeping stuff. And today was a solid day of work. Normally I'm one of those people that hates Valentine's Day, and I shouldn't talk about this too much on recording, but I'll just say this is probably the best Valentine's Day I've had in my lifetime.
Whoa, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I did all my Valentine's thing the day before, so I got
Yeah, and I saw you talking about that on Twitter, and
yeah.
I'll just say what I'm talking about went similar to that, so good on you, man.
Yeah, good on you too. If
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
You can ask me more about it after the show, but
Yeah.
for now, let's remind everyone how they can support the show because we are brought to you by Modular Media, a creative co-op that the two of us are members of. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, please give the video a like and comment down below with your thoughts on something that happens in this week's episode, along with subscribing and ringing the bell in order to enable notifications and get every episode of this podcast and the other podcasts that we do here at Modular Media every single week. Also, if you're listening to us on a actual podcasting platform, please follow us there because that'll help us out in that algorithm. And if you want to just keep up with us in general without using those specific services, follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media for updates and join our subreddit r/Modular Media for that and the occasional meme that one of us decides to post. But that's all the plugging I need to do. So why don't we get right into the news, Buster?
Yeah. All right. We got the toy sales for 2021. I think this is quarter 3 because there's a way more in depth post than what we have linked here that goes into specifics. But then again, everyone had translation, and most of the people reporting on this is English speakers, and these are Japanese numbers.
It's quarter 3, and it's also overall for the year. And the big thing about this is Super Sentai has dropped numbers majorly for I think the 8th year in a row. Which, as always happens when these numbers come out, people freak the fuck out over. But everything with the exception of One Piece and Ultraman are on a general downwards trend and have been for a long time for the simple fact of toys aren't as popular as they used to be. There's a lot of other things vying for kids' attention, and a lot of people who are either very specifically into them or very specifically into other things. We saw, this has been a thing I've talked about for a very long time because a number of years ago, I think it was around 2014, 2015, I want to say, Hasbro at Toy Fair one year just full on acknowledged yeah, we don't market to teenagers anymore because we've just lost that market to video games entirely, and we don't even go for older kids so much. We just have little kids and we have adults, and that's the way it is. So I'm not super freaked out about Sentai dropping in sales. It does suck in the sense that I think Zenkaiger's a great line, so I'm sad it didn't do too well. But you also have other great things, Kamen Rider is holding pretty steady in its slot as the 4th most popular franchise, and Ultraman has managed to hang on to the 3rd most popular franchise slot for I think it's the 3rd year in a row now.
Yeah, Ultraman's been doing really well. Despite us hating Trigger, surely, like, that's not stopping the sales.
No, Trigger had good toys too.
Yeah, like I like the toys and Trigger, so I could that's a win in some way. I just hope this doesn't affect Super keeping the laziness of Trigger, but that's a whole other story. Because honestly, then again, like the toy sales and quality of the show, they're like way different. Like beast. I mean, yeah, they interconnect, but like they're way different beasts than like we usually discuss. Yeah, because usually like I like we don't. It's a complicated thing. I don't really have the words for.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
It's also been theorized recently, like in response to this. I remember seeing Taka say that like it's entirely possible that the time slot Sentai is in is really bad for its popularity because it's competing with One Piece, and One Piece has been, like I said earlier, steadily growing in sales.
yeah, especially like recently. Like I've been more people are picking up the manga. The movies still are a big hit. Especially and it had a big anniversary year this year. So it reached the 1,000th episode and 1,000th manga chapter. It's still a big deal. Yeah, I'd argue it's even bigger deal than it was in previous years. And then like Kamen is doing. Yeah, I think with also someone probably bring this up. Zenkaiger had like 4DX toys starting off, and it like didn't really have like outside of really the mecha, it really didn't have that many like the Sentai gears were neat, but there weren't really like many like weapons or like role play items outside of like the premium Bandai Stacey stuff.
Yeah. I don't think there's too much else to say about this. It just, it is what it is, and
Yeah.
it's a good way to keep track of just how things are moving. But obviously, it's not the big thing this week. What is the big thing this week is the Donbrothers press conference, which we watched live.
Yeah, we
While it was
watched it in the
happening.
same VC. Just I thought
Yeah.
Vac was like I just watched it with me and a bunch of my friends and Vac in the same VC. And it was a riot, let me tell you.
Yeah. Do we want to just go? Do we want to just like recap the press conference, or do we want to talk about the bullet points that the articles list?
We'll talk about the beginning of the press conference because that was the most interesting, and then we'll like bullet point.
Yeah, because it opened up with them basically punking us.
Twice.
Yeah, because they play a fake trailer, which is the cast, but they're in different costumes and they're acting like it's Don Breeze, which is a rice dish in Japan. Um, and then they came out and they got a memo from a mysterious stagehand who made it clear that like no, that's the wrong show. It's actually Dawn Fragrance. And then we got the cast of the bad guy cast doing a fake ad or a fake trailer, I should say. And that was equally hilarious. And then they came out and the stagehand gave another note that was like, no, it's actually Donbrothers. And then they went into the proper press conference, which was very, very fun. It was probably the best prank I've ever seen a corporation pull, to be honest.
Yeah, it just generally there's just a sense of like this is fun. It's kind of also just like it kind of keeping up with that Zenkaiger humor,
Mm-hmm.
that like Sentai's been adopting, and that's really good. That's really good. Like indicator of like this is gonna be a very funny show. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then we'll go bullet point by bullet point. Literally, our main character is called Taro Momo.
All right.
We're getting on the nose.
Yeah, it's fine,
Yeah, no,
honestly.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I just find it funny.
He also looks like current. He is super in line with the current casting stereotype for a Red Ranger. Like he looks like he could be Kaito's brother.
Yeah. Well, I think like all that's general. Nice to have like another older Blue Ranger again. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I always like the archetype and
He
like
also looks like he's a monk or some kind of wanderer or something. I
uh,
don't think what they actually.
no,
Where's the character description?
he's like a professor like that.
Okay.
Like that on Toku Nation. I read he was like some sort of professor.
Okay. Uh, and then Yellow is a high schooler, and she is portrayed by a 17-year-old. Everyone.
Which
So
is also a manga artist. That's pretty
she
cool.
wants to be a manga artist, and she clearly has some sort of fangirling going on in relation to Momotaro.
You see, I just thought she was just holding him up because he was like leaning too much.
It's entirely possible, but also like some of her dialogue sounds like that in the trailer.
Yeah, fair. And then we got the CGI boys, who aren't CGI in real life.
No, they're played by actual actors, and we do see a shot in the trailer that has a physical Kaiji brother suit. So clearly it's going to be like we originally predicted in that they'll be predominantly CGI, but they will have actual props to represent them there for shots where it's appropriate.
Yeah. And then there's also is it in this article? No,
It's
it's
in
not in
one
this
of the
article.
articles because I just grabbed every article in relation to the press conference.
No, because we talked about the thing that wasn't shown in the press conference that was announced today, that there'll be Avatar changes, which are like
Oh
Gokai
shit,
changes.
I forgot to grab that. Let me go get that. But we got yeah, it was a magazine scan that revealed they're going to be able to use their gears to basically do Gokai changes.
Yeah, but it will only be one character can do it at a time, which is probably a way to that they're just not only like leaning into the more this is another anniversary season, but also the like to like get around the CGI stuff. And then like we got wife dad.
Yeah, male wife.
Male wife. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Uh
I just slurred my
but no,
words.
the fucking god damn it, what is his name?
Kiji brother?
Yeah, the Pink Ranger. Not only is he the first male Pink Ranger, but his entire character has no dreams of his own, is betting on his wife's dream.
Yeah.
Finally, I have some representation in Super Sentai.
Yeah. It gives me a lot of Leita from Ultraman Jeed vibes, and Ultraman Jeed is one of the best Ultramans, so that's good. Very, very
Hmm.
promising. And then also Kaito's back.
Yeah,
Although
because he.
like
Wait, you skipped over Inu brother. Because
no.
he's.
Oh yeah, he's the criminal.
Yeah, he's literally a criminal. He's a try-hard criminal who turns into a little CGI chibi boy.
Yeah, it's Shadow the Hedgehog. This is literally the plot to Shadow the Hedgehog.
In a way, you fucking genius.
Yeah, this
Also, he dresses like a Nomura character.
yeah. Like he look if you just put him next to like Noctis or Sora and he'd fit right in. Yeah, and then Kaito's back as Zenkaiger Black, although based on his mannerisms from the press conference and some other things, it might be the god that we keep talking about Zenkaiger, making me think Zenkaiger might have the bad ending.
It's entirely possible, but also, like, I feel like the guy would know what Zenyoku Zenkai is, and that's his line in the trailer. Zenyoku Zenkai? What is that? So I think he has amnesia or something.
Yeah, or just because it
Or
seems like
he's
on and
an
off.
alternate version of Kaito.
Yeah, because we already have a rumor that Stacey's gonna appear as an alternate version.
Mm.
Yeah. I actually like that because it's like I like putting like it's not necessarily the same character, but you're just putting a twist on like old ideas, kind of what Zenkaiger did itself.
Hmm. How you feeling about the Zenkai Black design?
It is okay. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's actually pretty good. Like I kind of like black and white designs. Kind of
Mhm.
feels like I think a little cheapened out a bit, but it's still pretty good.
I actually feel like it's really smart because I expected them to swap all the white on the suit for black, but doing the rainbow stuff in monochrome instead feels really smart to me. And also they changed all the gold parts to be silver.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hmm.
Although
And
someone did bring up like every Zenkaiser form is related to Power Rangers Tommy form, and that has me scared out of my mind. But I'm like, nah, it's probably coincidence, right? Hasbro and Toei,
I,
right?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Like Zenkaiser Black, Dino Thunder Black, like Zenkaiser Red, Zeo Red and Turbo Red.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I don't know why my brain auto-corrected it to Donbrothers, and I'm like, these suits aren't based off of Tommy suits. What are you talking about?
Well, I think I said Don Brothers something
Okay.
because this is the Don Brothers. This gonna be in Don Brothers, but like you get what I mean. I'm scared for if whatever's happening, but we'll worry about that later. That's just conspiracy theorists.
There's also a mentor character who seems to be trapped in the friggin' Matrix or something, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
that kind of like brings up Avatar, Avataro Sentai, Avatar Chain. Is this also gonna be a
Oh,
tech season? Is this gonna be like a stealth tech season? That'll be pretty cool.
entirely possible. But then we also have the villains, which are the Nuto, and they're essentially a a new evil a new evil Ranger team.
Yeah, the
And they're
designs.
they're a bunch of fancy boys.
Yeah, fancy boys and girl. Their designs give me Ultraman villain vibes, and hopefully it's better than Trigger's villain trio.
I was about to say, finally, good Dark Giant.
Yeah, I hope it is because that was a great concept that they just wasted in Trigger. So I hopefully, and we got 50 episodes to flesh them out. So here's hoping.
Yeah. And then of course it's all the staff we've talked before. Of course, Inoue is writing. We've got Ryuta Tesaki as the main director and Hirofumi Fukuzawa as the action director, who has done some very good work in the past. I recognize his from things. And just a bunch of general Toei and TV Asahi people.
Very excited for specifically the Ryuta Sasuke because he's also done Build. He mainly head directed Build, and I love me Build, and the Build has great directing. So let's go.
And a lot of the action in that trailer looked really fun. So
yeah,
I'm optimistic about Donbrothers at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm hype, but I'm very optimistic.
Yeah. As I mentioned in my preconceptions video, this is the most I'm not excited I've been about a Sentai ever, just in general. You got the CGI things, but we already made our peace with that. And I even though it I rewatched the trailer a couple days ago, it looked more tolerable. Maybe it's just my eyes getting used to it and already just like these designs, but I still think they need to find physical suits because just doing CGI on a weekly budget is a logistical nightmare. But I'm very excited for the story of Donbrothers.
Also, that opening fucking slaps.
Yeah, I'm very excited how they're gonna incorporate the dance into the opening because Zenkaiger they kind of half and half did it, where just a traditional opening and then the beginning's the dance.
It's okay, but it does feel very thrown together.
The dance or the opening?
The way the opening is incorporated into this.
Oh yeah, Zenkaiger. I thought we were talking about Donbrothers. We are talking about Donbrothers, but
no, the Donbrothers dance is great. Mainly
very
because it looks like a dance I could actually do.
Actually, no, I was gonna say I don't think it looks like a hard dance because it's very there's so many movements and I'm whoa.
Fair, but it was all easy for my eyes to track.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fair.
And then of course we got toys, glorious toys, mainly in the form of the reveal that the mecha line for this show is going to be pretty different. It looks like because we've got the Dawn Alters, which are going to be sort of Zords from previous seasons that will be brought in and altered in some way to modify a main Don Momotaro mech, which looks I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care for the look of the Don Momotaro mech, and the ToQGer alter that we have shown here. It looks like it could be a fun toy, but just aesthetically, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I don't like that because ToQGer's one of my favorite Sentai lines. What the heck? I mean, it's cool. I like the chain, the chomping railroad thingy, but hands. But other than that, I like the mech. It feels more Gundam than Sentai. But hey, it'll probably be cheaper and more easy posable. So. And but that's still people are mentioning there's already 11 DX toys lined up for Donbrothers for first quarter. So
there's more. It's gonna be a hot and heavy line.
Yeah, they're gonna try to a lot of quantity. Hopefully that'll still quality.
Yeah. Also, just something a lot of people have been observing about the show through the branding and whatnot. Seems like well there is going to be some anniversary type stuff to it. It's very much focusing on Gokaiger and onwards, which is different, but okay.
Well, to be fair, that would be Gokaiger already did the season's past words, and I think, or maybe this is just first quarter stuff,
Yeah, that's entirely possible as well. But I think that's everything we have to say about Donbrothers, right?
Yeah, I mean, I already made a video on my preconceptions, so.
All right, let's get into. We covered a few things like this last week, but this broke just after we finished up last week's episode, which is that Hasbro is actually responding to messages sent to customer care regarding the missing parts for the Ninjetti figures in the UK. This comes to us specifically from Dan Hu of Dan Hu Reviews, who is a very reputable toy reviewer on YouTube. From the United Kingdom. He had issues with his Ninjetti Tommy figure, was missing a head. He contacted Hasbro customer care, and just like they have with Dino Thunder White and SPD A Squad Pink, they sent him a replacement part that has absolutely nothing wrong with it. So they will probably be doing this for anyone else who files a complaint in the near future, which is good because we still don't know if that's going to be a problem for the figures when they eventually release in the States.
Yeah. I was, hoping
It's still not a good thing that this happened, but they're handling it pretty well.
Yeah. On more cooler toy news, we got Kamen Rider Evil. I had to say it once. He's getting an SH Figuart, and it looks sick, and it comes with his Jackal form, so that's cool.
It has option parts to make him into Jackal. There's a different chest plate and head, which I am really impressed with Figuarts because they could have very easily gotten away with doing a whole other figure release. But no, it seems like they're just doing Evil in one shot, which is pretty good of them to do. Especially because it's probably going to be more of a niche thing in the show going forward. And like honestly, I don't really like either of Daiji's suit designs. I do think this would be the more popular one for people to get.
Oh, come on. Evil's like one of the coolest suits in Levi's. Come on.
It's a little too corny.
Bro, I like it because it looks like Blade, and I initially thought, is this the Blade forms?
Kind of, sort of, I guess. But like, I Levi's definitely leans more towards your aesthetic sensibilities.
Yeah, a lot of colors, blue,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of blue. That's why I like it. And then for the news that broke today,
wait. One other thing about this is that if you pre-order this through Bandai, there will be a pre-order bonus, which is the hammer weapon that Vice often used in the show early on, and the Patera Vice stamp. So if you want those items, you're gonna have to get this even if you don't want it, which is a bit unfortunate, but like this is a thing Bandai has been doing since the Fours Figuarts. So what are you gonna do?
The stamp I'm okay with. The hammer, nah, man, that should be like part of one of the base sets. That's lame, man.
Well, and the hammer also makes me go, okay, so are we not getting a Figuart of Patera form then, or is this because Patera is the next Figuart?
Who knows? And speaking of who knows, Shin Japan Heroes Universe Project shirts, baby.
Yeah, this was a thing. This was an announcement that kind of came out of nowhere on Twitter the other day. But basically, everything that Anno has ever had his hands in is now in the same universe. No, they're just making merch, which is very Japan. But people saw this and they went, "Oh my god!" And I'll admit, I did this too. At first, before I dug at all, where I was like, holy crap, we're getting a crossover, and there's finally going to be a Shin Godzilla sequel, let's fucking go. No, it's just a shirt or two. That's the artwork on the first tweet they did here, which is very pretty artwork, but I don't know if I need it on a shirt.
I want it as a poster. Like, just
I would take that as a poster.
Yeah, or just like I'll just download like a higher quality as a desktop wallpaper because I love all these things. Even like because I like Evangelion, I like Ultraman, I like Godzilla, I love Kamen Riders.
It's also just cool in that it's kind of unprecedented in that it is a collaboration between Tsuburaya, Toei, Gainax, and Toho.
Oh no, it's Studio Kara.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Gainax is like there's a whole story about
Gainax. Gainax is a split off from them, sort of, kinda. I know.
Yeah, like Evangelion's more just like Anno's thing, I think, or Toho. I could look that up, but like, yeah, it's all part of the Shiniverse or the Shin Japan Heroes thing. Yeah,
I think it's easier to call it the Anno-verse, but the official title is obviously going to be the Shin Japan Heroes.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what kind of merch comes out of it. I just want some cool shirts, maybe some cool posters. Just
Mhm. And I
interesting.
know it would probably be very unlikely to get a live action thing, but like, yo, manga.
Maybe like a one shot chapter, like think of that like at short at the end of Ultraman versus Kamen Rider,
Yeah.
where it's like like that was mostly a documentary of
Mm.
both franchises, but then it ended with like a quick little crossover. Like just think like a quick little crossover of just Godzilla's attacking, and then Ultraman, Ava Unit 1, and Kamen Rider come in and fight him.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's make that happen, please and thank you.
Yeah.
And Buster, please and thank you. Take us on to the new releases.
All right, Kamen Rider Revice, episode 22, banging about the atmosphere stairway. This is probably the conclusion to one of the most consistent first halves a Kamen Rider season has had.
Yeah. This is the beginning of the second half. Like
Yeah, I
last
think
week
this
was
is
the
more of like a
conclusion.
yeah,
And
especially because we have like opening visuals again, and they finally put Daji and Sakura's rider forms in the theme song.
yeah, I wish we saw more of their actual faces, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. I do like the new visuals in the opening. But no, this was a really good episode. I thought. Obviously, very Formula of the Week, Character of the Week type stuff going on, but it's all handled incredibly well. And there's some good following up and keeping on with the story. Last week I complained Hiromi had the most limp-wristed death I've ever seen in Kamen Rider. He's not dead. They didn't find the body. He's out there somewhere doing some shit. I think he
Yeah.
pulled a Takatora.
Or Tachibana from Blade.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
Uh, and it seems like Daiji is kind of unofficially the commander man now, and he's not dealing with it too well, which made me happy because we were just complaining last week that he wasn't getting any focus.
Yeah, especially because a preview image next week might be like, oh, finally, Dachi time!
Yes.
Uh,
It seems like because fucking spoilers, obviously, but if you're listening to this show, I assume you keep up with Tokusatsu and watch the episodes before you hear us talk about them. Big reveal at the end of this episode. They get the rolling Vice stamp, and it happens, and oh, Iki's mysteriously disappeared. It's just Vice now. I think this is going to be Daiji having to be the one to bring his brother back the same way we had in the first arc with Iki having to save him.
yeah, good full circle moment. And maybe like him, like Kim and Kagero becoming one.
Ooh, that could be neat.
Yeah, that would cause I feel like Daji him like by himself he has some things going for him, but like as Kagero he has like way more going for him to make him more interesting. So I feel like combining the both of them because they already have a line in this episode about you gotta accept me, Daji. So I feel like just combining them would be the best way to go about that. At least from what I'm seeing. And then there's just a lot of great build up in this episode, great payoffs and great setup for what we can possibly see.
Yeah, finally splitting off Agelia from Tamaki.
Yeah, and Tamaki's heartbroken about it, and he it's kind of sad because this guy's been through so much already.
It's sad, but it's also they play it for laughs, and they do a really good job of playing it for. Because usually I don't laugh at that kind of stuff in Kamen Rider, but this did get me. Like the actor's expression was just priceless.
Yeah,
And then it's that kind of thing where you laugh, and then the ice cream gets in his face, and you're like, "Oh, buddy, no!"
yeah, it's a good laugh dramedy because it's there's comedy and laughing just at the same time. A good mix. It's like ha ha ha. Oh, I'm sad.
Also, the way they deal with it led to the dad making a Potter's face, which was hilarious.
Yeah, for getting punched in the nuts. Oof.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's interesting that he's living at the Igarashi household now. I saw somebody theorizing on Twitter, and I'd be very down for it. He might be on his way to becoming a writer.
Yeah, Tamaki, yeah. Some people are suspecting it might be another Order of Demons. Some people are Kamen Rider Julio. I prefer Kamen Rider Julio, to be honest. But I feel like we're a bit a ways away from that.
They might just end up, what is it? Drake or the Bee in Kabuto. I feel like it's one of them. That changer gets
Yeah.
passed around to
Yeah,
like five
that
different
happens in
people.
Kabuto.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people use the B. I think that's what Demons is ultimately going to be.
Mhm.
Because it already kind of is. Because Hiromi got it, Olkata got it. I think I said it right this time.
Yeah. You're close enough to what I say that I'm not kind of fucking.
PSAB.
I normally wouldn't do that anyway, though. It's just that you turned it into a conversation.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And then like we have the Vice stuff, which is like throughout. I was initially hesitant of the show, and I'll admit a lot of that was because the actor was being a shithead. And but like looking back, I'm just like, no, I generally love Vice as a character. It's just, but like, and like I kind of had to just deal with like, okay, the actor stuff happened, it happened, and then just looking at him as a character, I love this guy. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and like, oh, I love the way they play that transformation scene too, because it's like they could have played it up as super foreboding with like heavy music, a new theme song for this form or something like that, and like Vice being like, finally mine. But they make it a lot more creepy by taking the music completely out and having Vice be like, Iki's gone. That's weird.
yeah, and
Well,
he's
whatever.
legit like torn. He was a bit torn up about it at first, and until he has to like do his job. And he also has
Mhm.
one of the most insane rider kicks like this series
Yeah.
has had. It's like literally just so much is like going on. It's like a rider kick I would envision in my head.
And the whole time Daichi is watching on like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's like that ending reveal where it's like we don't see anything of Iki. It's like whoa. I mean, now we know from scans in the preview he's basically like taking up Vice's spot as like a demon. But like that's such a cool way. And big shout outs to the suit actor for Vice, Ikito, for nailing the Vice's movements both like in previous episodes and especially in this episode.
Yeah. Also, just the fact that like they say the form is from George, and then immediately we cut to George being like, "What the fuck? I didn't authorize that.
Yeah,
What's going on here?"
that might be from the weekend. Might be from like someone like
Yeah.
cosplay, like someone from the weekend doing a Phoenix uniform, and then they just
Yeah.
screwed.
It makes sense, especially because they gave the driver to Sakura.
Yeah, so they clearly have the technology for this kind of stuff.
Although I think George also said that driver is like a prototype that he threw out.
Yeah, probably they're just looking through his plans.
Mhm.
Like just gives you a funny mental image of just George just throwing out like toy ideas, and then just the weekend just going through his garbage and just be like,
Yeah, that's something I could see them doing if like net movies were still a thing.
yeah, or just maybe like in like some fan art. Get on that. But yeah, Revice is like being really good.
Yeah, fantastic episode. It's the most as I said on Twitter, it's the most consistently engaged I've been with a writer show since X-Aid.
Yeah. For me, it's Build because you didn't watch Build live.
Hmm.
Because even then, like Zero One and Saber, I mostly had the binge catch up of those, so probably same. Uh, but also the mystery episode 2 got subbed. Commentator revised the mysteries to be specific, and this was a really funny episode.
Yeah, fucking like, man, I don't like those suits, and I still haven't seen that Gaiden, but I was so pumped to see Oren and Jonichi back.
Yeah, and
Just because
this is
like,
coming from like a guy disliker, so that's how you know this
no,
is
no,
good.
no. I've soured on everything about Gaim except for Oren and the Nut Boys. I love those characters. Like I would buy the Figuarts of those characters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like Oren's new suit is a bit oof, but I really like Jonichi. No wait, not is it
See,
Jonichi? I forgot.
see, I'm like I hate Jonichi's new suit, but I think Oren's new suit is okay.
Yeah, bit opposite.
Mhm.
But yeah, also the Commentator Axel footage is so good in this episode. Oh, like I really
Yeah,
like Axel suit, and it's like especially the glow up lights, and it's just whoever directed that action sequence. Big props. That felt such a cool moment. Especially because it was a surprise to see the Heat Dopant from Double Forever come back. That's like
yeah. I
whoa.
was gonna ask you because I haven't seen Double if that suit was from something.
Yeah, that's from the movie Double Forever, and it's like whoa,
Yeah, because
okay.
the guy monster that Jonichi and Oren were fighting was a suit they used over and over again in Gaim. So I saw the Dopant and I was like, I don't recognize that suit. I don't know if it's new or if it's from something. And then I saw the Gaim monster and I was like, oh, okay, so that Dopant must be from something.
Yeah. We also get great lines. This might be translation additions, but like Vice basically like going like, "Well, Kamen and I are love triangles, am I right?"
Yeah, and all that love triangle stuff is actually really engaging, as
Yeah.
opposed to shit like
Oh
Fies.
no! All right, we're not today. Not today.
But no, I liked that, and I also liked how like Gen is constantly trying to coach them, and I'm like, didn't you get married on a fluke at the end of that show?
Like yeah, like Gen is like basically like a more comedic version of Tachibana, where Tachibana is more qualified. Gen is like kind of bumbling his way through it, and that's a really fun way to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
it makes me want to see him come back more and come back in main show.
yeah, or just even more spin-off stuff. Like if they're gonna keep doing Tesla miniseries like this, keep bringing him
Mhm.
back. Just make him like the Tesla like man.
Yeah, he's the Tesla character.
Um,
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to
Also, I
bring.
just in general, I want to see like a full miniseries of that of just George meeting various Kamen Rider actors.
Yeah, that is wonderful. It's stuff from his character that like I assumed was going to be in the main show after his and Iki's appearance in Saber, but like we haven't gotten so.
Yeah, we see like glimpses of it, and we like, but like I feel like we're waiting for like a major George arc
Mhm.
before like we fully delve into his writer obsession.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have to find out either that he's a villain or he has to become a writer. Like
Actually,
that's gotta happen.
crazy theory about George. I think they might do some like bullshit meta thing, and he's from the real world.
That's entirely possible. I wouldn't put that past him, and that's interesting, especially with how he talks about in this episode of the mystery and this week's episode of Revice. They talk about his dad a whole lot, which I don't remember them doing at all before.
Yeah, very. Yeah. Again, who knows what that could lead to? That's just my theory. But I kind of hope it's real, just because it could get really crazy in a cool way with it. But yeah, yeah, Revice, both the mystery and the main show, really good stuff. Hoping, whenever we get Beyond Generation Sub, it continues Revice's pretty good record.
Mhm.
Um, and now for Sentai, Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, episode 47. Entering the palace, keep your head high around the boss.
This
Uh,
episode was fucking badass.
yeah! Like, we got Stacey and ToQGer, the two best characters of the show, like, doing the transformation together. We got all this, like, mecha fights. It's
Like
great.
this is probably the best episode of this show so far, and like I know it you always say that during final arcs of Sentai, but like god damn, do I have to clap them on the back for totally pulling the wool over my eyes. We have spent how many episodes of this show going like, yeah, this is good, but it feels pretty fillery for how far along they are. It's because they were saving so much back for this arc so they could squeeze so much into such a small space and have it all not feel rushed or like janked up at all. Like everything that happens in this episode feels perfectly natural to happen in this episode. And there are just some real tear jerker moments here. Like I was getting misty eyed about I think 3 times in this episode.
Yeah, there's so many just, like, great, like, the comedy is kind of downplayed in this episode, but, like, it's, this is kind of, like, the dramatic conclusion, or, like, dramatic, like, near conclusion to a lot of arcs. Like,
It's
we
part
finally see
3-part final
Stacey.
act.
Yeah, it's like we see Stacey like confronting Yatsuda, and it's like that's such a great moment. Like, and then
Mhm.
like, I don't know how I can describe it. Just like, oh, these are such a great moment. This is such a great moment. And it's just like, it
Mhm.
just like if we're invested, like we're already invested through like the comedy, and now they're like, okay, you've been asking for the dramatic stuff. Here's the dramatic stuff, and we're gonna get you hard with it. Like,
Yeah, even the ass pull they pull with Bokawawas. I feel like in a normal episode that would be played for comedy, but here it's like, oh fuck.
wait, what did they pull? I forgot what they pulled. With
Remember
Pokemon.
they get right up to him and he just flips the floor over and goes, "You're not supposed to be here yet."
Oh yeah, like yeah, yeah, that was a great moment. Just like whoa, 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 yeah, and and then it's like what else is the like, especially the cliffhanger with the god possessing Flint. It's like what's happening? What's
Mhm.
happening? Okay, just speculation time. Next episode, I think is gonna be like the story finale, but then the episode after that, like which is gonna be the real last episode, will be epilogue, cause epilogue leading into Donbrothers. Cause I feel like from the
It's
way the
entirely
preview,
possible.
yeah, from the way the preview's shaping up, which means Stacey might actually live. That'll be nuts. Oh wait, give me a second. All right, back.
Okay. Yeah, and because you said that, do you know what you set off in my brain?
What?
Will Stacy be okay? Stacy will live.
Is that a Doug Walker reference?
Yeah, some Doug Walker memes are still good. Some.
Okay. No. That was a weird way.
But no, this episode's so
Yeah.
good.
A good like, yeah, let's go. Honestly, I feel like when you're
First
binging this
time
series,
outside of wrestling, I have actually stood up out of my chair and shouted "Let's go" at Suffolk
ooh, yeah.
when the Pirates showed back up.
Oh yeah, that was a great moment. I feel like this episode's gonna be more impact. This is just me personally, more impactful. Like when you're watching like this and you're watching this and the rest of the finale of Zenkaiger, just because
Oh yeah.
it's like the lead up to like the big climax. Like honestly, I'm very interested in next week because of like the preview stuff, but we'll get into that later. Next week, not later.
Yeah. But no, a fantastic week of new releases, I think.
Yeah, like all bangers. Hey, maybe like we feel more positive now that a trigger ended.
All bangers, no hangers.
Yeah. We got a few hangers in my old stuff section.
Yeah, get into that, will you?
Alright, so I decided to watch Bima Satra Garuda because this is an Indonesian tokusatsu series co-produced by Ishinomori Productions.
Yeah, I've heard of this, and I've wanted to get into it for a while, but it's just one of those things that's on the back of the to-watch list.
Well, that, and it also really didn't receive an official English sub until the good folks over at Barike Scrubs provided one. So shout out to you guys. You
Yeah.
could Google them yourselves. And honestly, I feel like this is gonna be one of those novelty shows. For me, it's like it's cool that it existed. I don't know how I feel about the final product. I watched the first 2 episodes, planning to watch the rest soon. It's only like 26 episodes, so it's like average shorter. So basically the plot is villains attack, a guy from space fuses with a regular human and they become Bima. And like, it kind of reminds me of Ultraman Z in a way. Or like Ultraman, like where it's like there's their companionship between the 2 guys. Although it kind of feels downplayed in these episodes in favor of, oh, we gotta save this like brother and sister from the villains, which is like resolved by the end of these episodes. And unfortunately, apparently, like Barike thank God they decided to warn us. Apparently, throughout the show, there's an incest subplot. I am not kidding. It's not like they don't like do it, but like there's like romantic like crushes apparently. This is just I haven't watched these episodes yet, but I'm scared about this. Luckily, I heard the sequel. They're also subbing the sequel, Bima X. That just drops it entirely. So hooray! But I have to still sit through that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, what the hell, Indonesia? But yeah, and also
Y'all
like the
more
first.
fucked up than Alabama, apparently.
Yeah. And also apparently, there's this weird scene at the end of the first episode. It was like, oh, this is gonna be a show where like these parents are trying to escape from the villains, and it's like this kid was like, I need to get my toy robot, and then he goes upstairs to get his toy robot, but like by the end, everything in the house is on fire, and it's like, what the did this kid like indirectly kill his parents? Well, I don't know if that's the main character or like a different character. Like my brain isn't working the best today, so I think it might be the main character, but or maybe just someone. Maybe I don't know. I'll go back and watch to make sure. Rewatch, make sure. But yeah, not giving the best first impression, especially with that apparent warning for future episodes. Yeah, but it's a neat novelty. The action is pretty cool. I really like the Bima suit. I don't know. It's an attempt. But I also decided to watch more Power Rangers Zeo, specifically episodes 12 through not 12, episodes 7 through 12. Now I did watch the first bits of episode 13, but I literally had to stop because of the shock that Power Rangers said the word politics, and that just like I had to like screen cap.
You fucking sewer.
I know, but like that's weird, man. It's just like.
It's not even like there's a political discussion too. It's just they say the word politics to list off topics that can be discussed on the internet. Like goddamn.
Well, still, that's part of the thing. Politics on the internet don't mix together, especially in a children's show.
This was 1990 fucking 5, dude. We didn't know that yet.
Yeah, but like that doesn't age well, man.
Wait, was it 95? No,
96, I think.
Yeah, this would have been 96. Okay.
Yeah, because we
Still.
celebrated the 20th anniversary last year. Or 25th. I think it was 25th. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, Zio is really picking up. Really a lot of funny episodes. A lot of like, we're kind of like taking like bits and pieces we've established in MMPR and like fleshing them out into like full blown character traits. That like, yeah, Rocky's the goofball, and he's like consistently the goofball. It's not just like, oh, well, he's a goofball when we need him to be. No, he's like always. Like I can see a personality in him consistently. Like Adam is like kind of the straight man. Tommy's like the brave leader. Tanya and Catherine kind of like interchangeably like are just the caring one. But like you work with what you got. This is still a major step up. The action is still really good. The music still best Power Ranger soundtrack. I'll give a highlight to the specific episode where they adapt the Zio movie. Invasion of the Ranger Snatchers. That was a hilarious episode. Like a lot of honestly, when they got to the Ranger stuff, it kind of like I was like, I want to see more of the behind the scenes movie people. If I had to give a dishonorable mention, Graduation Blues. What the hell was that episode? I know behind the scenes shenanigans, but like that was
things about that.
Yeah, there's some good things. It's just from the weird like rushed beginning. I get that's kind of the in universe. It's also a bit rushed, but like it still felt like rushed in terms of show to. Like, just the ominous ending. It kind of felt a tad mean-spirited. And I know it's not the most mean-spirited thing they do with Billy. Believe me. I know. But, it still felt like... was this, like, gonna be, like, was this, like, one of the opportunities David Yost had to leave? Is this, like...
I think so. It was either that or it was, like...
Because he still shows up Gold Ranger, like, lead up.
No, he comes back in, like, another couple episodes and sticks around for a while. I think it was like he had to go film something else or something like that.
Oh, okay, so this didn't have to do with the behind the shenanigans. No. Okay.
And then I will still say Rangers of Two Worlds is a fun episode that honors his character pretty well, despite the fact that David Yost isn't there.
I disagree, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Zio is a really fun watch. Would recommend. It's all free on YouTube. If you want to just skip to Zio, go ahead. Be my guest.
Yeah, I think Zio's a fantastic season outside of There's No Business Not Like Snow Business and the fact that it doesn't have a real ending. Like it has an end. It has an ending, but it's so open-ended, and then the Turbo movie just kind of closes the door on that ending and says we're gonna do a way different ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I watched the Turbo movie all the time as a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a DVD of it. So maybe that explains why I have bad opinions.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But that's the end of our episode, Buster. So why don't you tell people where they can go find your bad opinion?
All right, you can find my bad opinions at the Buster Corp YouTube channel. We do analysis. We do sometimes preconceptions. I do like tokusatsu, video games, animation, whatever I'm feeling like it. Maybe comic books and manga again. We'll see. You can also find me at the Twitter feed, BusterBluey3. Also, tune in this Friday at Explode When Defeated. I'll give you the link to the podcast feed because I'll be a guest on there discussing Gamera versus Gyros.
Woo! And I'm the Vacuuminator. I didn't realize you were done. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make videos about tokusatsu and toys, and I'm pretty passionate about those things. I've actually got a new video coming up. I filmed it during the trip to Database Ranger's place. So that'll be coming out probably by the end of the month, I think. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel and check out all my older videos as well at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. I'm also on Twitter tweeting and twatting about every little thing at the Vacuuminator, and I'm on Instagram posting photos of action figures and my dogs at _Vacuuminator. But folks, that's going to do it for this week in Tokusatsu. We'll see you next week when we find out whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.